Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Sunday and it is the last week of January already. It's the 29th of January 2017. And I just thought I'd check in. I received a gift from a watcher, and they also included a CD of music by their husband, but I was doing all this work on programming for the radio station, digging through CDs to find content, and it looks like I've put it away before I could show it, so I can't review it yet. I'll have to dig it out, and literally have to dig it out. But thank you again, viewer and viewers in general. Thank you for your kindness. This is going to be a short one because I just want to just kind of check in, okay? I'll speak about current events last. So in recent events, I have talked pretty regular about when musicians of note or musicians that I care about pass away. Recently, Butch Trucks of Allman Brothers passed away, but it was revealed a few days later that, in fact, he had committed suicide by shooting himself. I can't show you any Allman Brothers. I might have an Allman Brothers record still in the closet somewhere. But the Allman Brothers were a band who made an impression on me, a good impression on me right away, and then I got tired of it really fast, and then it got to the point where it's like I don't ever want to hear that music again. The Southern Fried Boogie, bluesy stuff, it really, and stuff like mainstream rock like the Eagles, reminds me, whether I like it or not, it reminds me of the legacy of America, the phony legacy of America. It doesn't sit well with where I'm at, and so I don't listen to that music. Much respect to Butch Trucks, but yes, I will put it in there that just a lot of just straight Americana and what most of America listens to, it reminds me, even more so right now, it reminds me of just how unfair and double standard everything's been in America from almost the beginning, especially for people of color and women. So that's why I don't listen to the Allman Brothers, but much respect to them. And they were a great band, yeah, they were. And they had a black drummer, and I know that. No, I know, okay? All right? The other thing is, like, I express exactly what I'm feeling, and there is always a mix of joy and anger and irritation constantly. It's the human. I think it's the human. It's what's going on with me. Some other people are more mellow. I try to be mellow. Another watcher recently asked me about Depeche Mode. I'm very familiar with all of the main. I'm aware, and I have Depeche Mode, but I didn't collect Depeche Mode ever consciously. It would be more like if I come across a Depeche Mode record cheaply and nothing else is there that day that I want, I'd get it. So I've got some Depeche Mode 12-inch singles, none of their albums on vinyl. I liked them quite a bit, never got to see them live. Yeah, when they first came out and their first appearance on that Some Bizarre compilation album, I bought that right away, but I don't have it. I sold it. The other music news that was important to me this weekend was that yesterday, January 28th, was Robert Wyatt's birthday. Robert Wyatt was the drummer and singer for the original version of Soft Machine. Here's one of Robert Wyatt's solo albums. He's also been a very outspoken socialist for a long time. He's the drummer who was paralyzed when he fell out of a window at a party that Gong was having, and just has a very unique and very plaintive and immediately recognizable voice. I was playing his music and Soft Machine this weekend. This is my copy of the album by Soft Machine 3rd. This changed the way I hear music, among other records, but this one really changed the way I heard music. I've had this since 1971 or 2. I have another copy of it. I was able to upgrade it. When I first heard the side of this called Out Bloody Rages, what's interesting is that I immediately recognized the Terry Riley connection, how what Mike Ratledge was doing with the arpeggios on the keyboard and the looping and stacking was, well, where have I heard this before? You know, Terry Riley, you know, and then it breaks into that long, wonderful jam. It's really opened my mind to music. So Soft Machine, if you're not familiar with them, or Robert Wyatt, please become familiar. This is the album that he released after he lost his legs. And this is such a gorgeous, beautiful, painfully honest album. From the very first note until the end, even though there's energy on here, the sadness, I mean, think about it. Losing your legs, and you're a drummer, and you have to get used to being in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. That's on here. That feeling is on here in the music, and it makes it so sweetly sad that it's just one of the most amazing records you'll ever hear. Rock Bottom. And you put it on the line. I mean, it's like, how else are you going to feel? I've lost my legs. I'm a drummer. Even if I wasn't a drummer and I lost my legs. I lost my legs. Yeah, I'd be rock bottom for a while. Some other music I played recently was Test Department. I forget if they were English or Irish. I know they were from that area, maybe Scottish or Swedish. I don't know. But Test Department was a band that was similar to Einstürzende Neubauten, where they used a lot of percussion on heavy machinery and industrial waste to make their music. A bit of an activist, not a bit of, but very much about protest and people's rights. So played this all the way through recently, and just the feeling of the music really fit what's going on right now. We're in some weird times right now. You know, Trump is a total tragedy. Total tragedy. Codona, number 3, with Don Cherry and Nana Vasconcelos, Colin Walcott. World music before they knew what to call it. Fantastic music. Just really. This is not jazz. It's on ECM, but I wouldn't call this jazz at all. This is something very, very, very special. World music is probably the closest. George Duke, fantastic musician. Keyboardist who's played with, I mean, you know, you name it. I think Frank Zappa was the person that really helped him break out and become commercially popular. Here's an early George Duke solo album I love, which Frank Zappa is on and probably produced, but they couldn't put his name in the credits because of, you know, legal shit. Feel. Wonderful album. And when the guitar solos come in on here, it's obvious it's Frank Zappa. Really, really nice album. Here's Robert Wyatt's first solo album, The End of an Ear, which for the longest I agreed with the critics because it's been poo-pooed saying that this was just kind of a waste of money, a big studio jam session. I listened to this all the way through yesterday, and it's like, okay, finally, my perspective is clear on what was going on. They were doing a lot of improvising, throwing out ideas and seeing what stuck. It's better than what the critics rated because they probably haven't listened to it in a long time like I didn't. I got into it yesterday, and it's like, oh, okay, I get this. This is not fake jazz. This is real. And it's basically the Soft Machine with the horns, improvising. Better than I remembered it. I go through phases like anybody, and so the person whose videos that I make sure that I catch these days is Diana Biernat. Her personality really comes through. Her love of music really comes through. She's a breath of fresh air, and so I make sure I catch her videos. She had a new one up. One of the albums she showed that reminded me to play it, Oregon, Out of the Woods. Fantastic. Again, another band that came up with its own hybrid sound with oboe, 12-string guitar, tablas, piano, acoustic bass, just wonderful. Ralph Towner, Paul McCandless, Colin Walcott, Glenn Moore, wonderful music. And once again, social commentary, because America is so focused on cheap entertainment and grabbing that quick fix, you can find these records for nothing because it wasn't valued. Consequently, this is some of the best music you'll probably ever hear. Another birthday that happened recently was the Japanese pianist Ryuichi Sakamoto, who has recovered from cancer. I love his playing, and this is one of his albums that you often find really cheap because it's very short, and when it came out, it had a couple of bright spots, then it was like the rest of it was I'm not so sure about this. With time passing, I can see more clearly what Sakamoto was up to with the blending of all these different elements of Chinese and American hip-hop and classical. It sounds better now than it did when it came out. Neo Geo, you can probably find this for $1 or $2 easily. I was listening to some more Can. This is a live bootleg of Can playing in Cologne, 1973. And the big feature of this recording is Jackie Liebeseit's drumming. It sounds like it's a board recording, very clear, and just Jackie's drumming is no other drumming like it, people. No other drumming like it. This is sitting out because I was played some Fela on my radio show last week, and it's still on every Thursday, 2 to 4, Mind and Soul, Roots of Electric Jazz. But we had to play some Fela, the real black president. African high life, Afrobeat, whatever you want to call it. This music has a real, it's like you're out in the dirt, in the street, almost like with no electricity. Music of the literally of the earth. You know, they take about 10 minutes to jam, and then the vocals come in with the message. Fela. You know, this week recently I was talking about how one of the bucket list things that's happening in my life that I'm really pleased to share with you is how so many artists whose music I collect and love and have loved for years are now basically friends of mine. You know, they interact with me through the internet. Even if they don't converse with me, I'll get a like if I say something that they really like, and this weekend was full of it. Yesterday, a very cool thing happened. I happened to be listening to Sid Arthur's new album, Apricity. I was online on Facebook doing something, going back and forth, and then I saw that one of my posts got a like from Raven Bush from the band Sid Arthur. So I went ahead and quickly personal messaged him and said, well, I'm listening to you right now. I'm listening to this Apricity right now. Cheers. You know, just to say it, not expecting anything. He writes back, you know, talking about, man, I really hope we run into each other again really soon. That's awesome. That's Kate Bush's nephew. I was listening to this all the way through a couple nights ago. The Sensual World, Kate Bush, fantastic. Also with Mick Karn, who was in the band Japan, on bass on a lot of this. Wonderful album. The whole album. She is a very singular, unique voice when it comes to music. Not only even say female, just in general. What a neat, like a Peter Gabriel. But Raven Bush of Sid Arthur, that's Kate Bush's little nephew. Charles Hayward of the band This Heat got in touch with me this weekend. Franco Falsini from Sensation Fix gave me a like. Dagmar Krause this weekend gave me a like and something. This really means a lot to me. And then the topper of it all, I'll grab an album. For me, the topper of it all was hearing from... I recently became friends with Richard Barbieri of the band Porcupine Tree. I've said this before, but the reason why I got into the band Porcupine Tree was their association with the band Japan. Before that, Stephen Wilson had started working with Richard Barbieri and Steve Jansen of the band Japan, which that work, their duo records led me to Porcupine Tree. As you know, Richard Barbieri was, I don't know if Porcupine Tree will ever be back, but he was the keyboardist in Porcupine Tree. This is Deadwing by Porcupine Tree. Pretty collectible album of theirs. But Richard Barbieri's keyboard work is essential to the sound of Porcupine Tree. We became friends on Facebook. Not only did he get a hold of me this weekend after commenting on my post about Soft Machine, because I posted this on my page yesterday celebrating Robert Wyatt's birthday. Well, Richard Barbieri left a comment about how that album is essential to him, but then I get a personal message, a private message from him saying, "Hey Dereck, I need your address. My new album's about to come out. I really want you to have it." That's a bucket list moment. Okay, that means a lot to me. These people are my friends, you know. Yeah, this is how I want to put it, because some people don't understand why this means so much to me. Beatlemania, when I was a kid, had a huge impact on my life. Huge impact in more ways than I can explain. And one of the things that I was fascinated with and wanted to experience, or not experience, but something that I felt as I followed the Beatles and the trajectory of the British wave and how that opened up the world of music to me, was how I wanted to experience it to a degree. Not the screaming girls, not the madness, not the false fame or the money. What I was really interested in experiencing was, well, I wanted to fulfill the idea, the feeling that I'm one of them. That, you know, that I revere these musicians and they've changed my life in good ways, but I'm one of them. We're the same. And the connection that I'm having with all these musicians who I like and love is the part of what I really wanted that has come true. Just thought I'd share that, you know. It means a lot to me. It really does. Another album I'll show right quick, The Sea and Cake, Everybody, Chicago band, associated with Tortoise, Sam Prekop, I guess the main guy. Another distinct voice. And another band very influenced by Can and krautrock in general. Really nice album. So I'll kind of break off there. The last thing I'll say is I did recently have to block someone. The person's comments were very, very childlike. Very childlike. One of the things that's really become apparent to me with this current political malaise that we're in is that it has divided. It's not so much that it's divided the country, which it has, but what it's showing me is types of people, the types of people that are out there. And the thing that I notice about people who are still Trump supporters and not rich or racist is that there's a lot of people who, it appears to me, and don't take this wrong because I know what I'm saying clinically, there are people who are developmentally challenged where they're thinking it's more very concrete than abstract. Like if you tell them, you know, a button is a button, or a button is a button. You know, the idea of thinking about it in an abstract way, like about the geometry of it or the different uses of it. No, a button is a button. Because so many people lie within that spectrum of human possibility, there are a lot of people who are very simplistic, and as a result, these people take everything at face value because the gray matter isn't there. The development of the brain didn't happen. Okay, I know what I'm talking about, so don't give me shit. I'm not dissing. I'm talking facts. Okay, so quite a few of those people in that range are people who are herded like sheep because they can be. You know what I mean? Do you follow me? Some of you people who have experience know what I'm talking about. Others who don't, you may completely misunderstand what I'm saying and think I'm insulting someone. I'm not. But what I'm saying is that this person that I just blocked I started to enter into a conversation, and then it got to a point where they said this. You know, we're talking about, well, just take a look at what's going on. This person was defending Trump, and I said, no, there's nothing defensible. Look at what's going on. And then the person, very, very ignorantly, I'll say it like that because it's frustrating, said, show me, show me, show me, show me. It's like I said, get off your ass and look for yourself, you know? It's such a childish, ignorant thing to say, as though, well, if you don't show me, then it isn't there. It's like, for fuck's sake, get up your ass and go find out for yourself. The information is right there. Right there, it tells me you're not interested in finding out the truth or being objective. You just want to be right, or you just want to be argued. You're out of here. I've been experiencing this on Facebook because I'm being more succinct when I make a comment about the Trump travesty that we're living in. And I'm blocking left and, well, I'm not blocking left and right because most of my friends are decent people. The people, every time some Trump supporter comes along, it just doesn't take long for them to show something really shitty. Like that either they're selfish, that they have it good. A friend of mine, well, not a friend of mine, but a friend of mine's brother actually wrote on there saying, well, I'm so tired of hearing about all the hate. Well, I wish we could go back to the 60s. And my thought was, well, the 60s was good for a particular group here in America. That group wasn't me. Hello? You know, so selfish. So selfish. That's the problem with, that's a big problem with this administration, is everything he's doing is just for a small little group of people, not for the American people. And we still have idiots who think he is. I'm not being quiet. Trump is a total disaster. And for those who think that because he's not in the back pocket of the elite hegemony, that somehow because of that that something good can come out of what he does, I'll admit that possibly, but the man is a psychopath and he's not very mature. He's not stupid, but he's not wise. He's not wise, okay? So whatever smarts he's using is for his personal benefit. That's not good, and that's not the kind of person we need as a president. Please don't defend that man. What is wrong with you people? Once again, watch how I try to... So there it is. But life goes on, and I'm going to have a good day. And I hope you do too.